interesting to see how the first couple of minutes here go, because as you say, Chris, will France just absolutely tear into this Irish team in the opening few minutes?
Yeah, I've not heard an anthem like that.
And that's the special thing about this stadium. It just creates the noise. It just, the effects of it, it must be the shape of the stadium, whatever it is, but just brings it, echoes it around like nothing.
And the Stade de France does, it does lack that atmosphere. It's very rare that you get that surrounding noise, the boom that you have in the Stade de France, but I think France should play all their matches down here.
Well, let's see how it goes first. Let's see how both these teams deal with such a huge opener to the championship, coming months after that desperation and desolation of their World Cup exits. But the French rugby public still believe in Les Bleus as the countdown starts to kick off. And young Jack Crowley, Six Nations debut, replacing the great Johnny Sexton. What's going through his mind as he kicks us off from left to right? Ireland in green and white shorts, and France in their royal blue, white shorts and red socks. And talking about missing men, Max Lucu in for another great in Antoine Dupont. The referee is Carl Dixon as that man Lucu just prepares to clear his lines, and listen to the noise round the velodrome. As Lucu clears to touch, will that go into touch? Yes, it will. And now Ireland will have the first set-piece opportunity, Tommy Bowe, and a chance to throw into the line out, 10-metre line, inside the French half.
Nice settle the nerves for both sides there. Kick off by Jack Crowley right down the middle of the park. Force France to hit it into touch. Lucu, very calm, collected, set up the box kick. Hit the kick about 40 metres out from the French line. This is a real challenge now for Dan Sheehan to try and find his man. A lot of question marks about Ireland's line out.
So much consistency in this Irish pack, and that's a nice line-out drill. Off the top it comes, Gibson Park to Bundy Aki, Robbie Henshaw goes up to the 10-metre line. There for Ireland, and Gibson Park playing from left to right. Good drive on by the new man, Joe McCarthy, another Six Nations debutant, but the coming man of Ireland forward play. As Ireland through Crowley, waiting for a little kick. It's been charged down and won by France. They want a counter-attack. Ramos is up from the backfield, and he kicks down the throat of James Lowe on his own 22. Yellow boots, sends it into the Marseille sky. That one's going to drop awkwardly, but Lucu takes it well like a cricketer over his shoulder. And they're moving it here. France, Jalabert, great footwork from the Bordeaux man, and they might have numbers if Aldrit can move it. Aldrit powers over the halfway, up to the 10-metre line. Centre field, and there are numbers over here for France. They might have a 2-on-1. Ficou out to Damien Penaud. He's caught into touch. I wonder if they just ever so slightly butchered that, Ashley, because that was a great opportunity for France, but it will be an Ireland line-out.
Oh, it was all set up, 3-on-2 up the touchline, and he just gave the pass to, just so unlike Ramos to not fix his man, but Jalibert to start it all off, just as he's been doing for Bordeaux week in, week out this year. So fast on his feet and makes the break from nothing.
Well done by Hugo Keenan. It was a 2-on-1 with Ficou. He forced him to pass it, put Penaud into touch, but yeah, big opportunity for France blown there. From Ireland, they know they can't kick dangerously to this back three for France.
Ireland's line out so far so good. 2 throws, 2 wins, and now Doris carries up to the 22. Back from Gibson Park to Lowe, who's got that cannon of a left boot, and he whacks it about 50 metres. Didn't look for touch. Ramos from Penaud's pass. He sends up a Garrillon as both sides feel each other out in the opening stages on 5 Live. 3 minutes in, nice little ball from Lowe inside to his forwards, just short of the 10-metre line for Ireland, inside their own half. Now here's Caelan Doris onto Van der Fleer, who's met by the man mountain, Winnie Antonio. Ireland just having a little bit of a look and then probably saying, okay, in your own half, let's try and get it out of here, and Gibson Park is going to kick. Nicely weighted box kick, a tester for Ramos, who comes forward and takes it very well because Lowe was all over him. There for France, will they look to play quickly? Lucu spins it out to Jalabert, his Bordeaux clubmate. Here's the mighty Greg Aldrit of La Rochelle, just short of the 10-metre line, inside their own half, the French. And they might have numbers again. Cyril by nice ball, Jalabert, interception. It was thrown from Ramos to James Lowe. And then France are offside, and Ireland will have a penalty and a chance to kick for goal or maybe to go into the corner. Advantage being played by referee Carl Dixon, the Englishman. Van der Fleer in centre field with his red scrum cap. in between the 10 and the 22 for Ireland. Decent platform this. Crowley goes inside. Tyke Byrne drives up. Good quick ball for Gibson Park this, Tommy, as Aki attacks.
Yeah, well done by James Lowe getting in to stifle that attack, because France had numbers on the edge again. France coming off the line in defence so fast and putting this Irish attack under pressure. And Ireland just need to just not get bored. Put the ball in behind this French pack. They're a huge bunch of men. Don't be afraid to put it into the corners, but don't kick it badly to the back three, because France have shown they can really light it up if they get opportunities. And James Lowe was the man who thankfully stopped it on the touchline out there.
Right decision for goal. I think he just needs a settler, Jack. I really hope this goes home for him. He's going to go to touch.
Corner.
He's had a couple of nervous touches. He's had a kick that got charged down. You can see he's desperate to get himself into the game. That's a good touch, Fine.
Listen, this is a really massive opportunity for Ireland. They would have talked about the opening couple of minutes to try and silence this crowd. They've now got a 5-metre line out just off that French try line. But this is an area that didn't quite work for Ireland when it got to the really crunch matters, the clinical detail of trying to nail your line out, get them all set up. Here's a big pressure on Dan Sheehan.
Got to take your chances in Test rugby, especially in a place like this against a team like France. Ireland win their line out, and all the backs are getting involved in this war. Bundy Aki's in there. It just stops. Sheehan peels round the corner, tackled by Oliver in centre field. Might be numbers. Aki had Lowe outside, but Lowe was being covered by Luku. What an opportunity this is for Ireland. The Six Nations opener on 5 Live, 6 minutes in almost. France 0, Ireland 0, but Ireland have a sustained period of attack here as Joe McCarthy drives on. 7 or 8 metres out again for Ireland. Van der Fleer. And they've got another penalty, so another free ball. Omani, the captain, he's thumped on the game line. Numbers to the left and right. Gibson Park comes left, throws a Hail Mary, intercepted by Luku. Fans excited, didn't matter. 2 men offside, says referee Dixon. And now Tommy Bowe from slap bang in front. Surely Crowley kicks the goal to
I think
try and
Crowley
build a
knew
score.
that this was coming, Chris. Yeah, a lot of pressure on him there to put the ball into the corner. I thought he was going to go for the post earlier on, but it was a wonderful kick. Great discipline by Ireland, great patience going around the corner, forcing this monstrous French pack into giving away penalties. And yes, now a great opportunity to get on the score sheet, and it doesn't come much easier for Jack Crowley.
2 penalties that really weren't necessary from France. I'll be disappointed with that. Just letting them off the hook. Ireland weren't really going anywhere. They weren't making much of a beeline into the French defence, but they've just let them off here. Interesting, Gibson Park went for that pass over the top there. I think if Johnny Sexton's on this pitch, that ball goes to Johnny.
To be fair,
Crowley kicks the goal, Tommy. 3-0 Ireland.
Yeah, to be fair, I think that there was nothing on.
Yeah.
Like as you just mentioned there, France didn't need to give away the penalty. There was actually nothing on, and Gibson Park just did it to try and take the penalty. I think he knew what was there for him. It was really a pass to nothing.
So Jack Crowley is up and running for Ireland in his Six Nations debut. 7.5 gone in the Velodrome in Marseille. France 0, Ireland 3.
Inside!
And when you're away from home in a cauldron like this, just what Ireland
Inside
needed
still.
to grow into the game, try and take the sting out of the home support,
Inside!
and build a bit of a score as James Lowe lamps it downfield. Jalibert's got a lot of space to skip into, and he goes over the halfway and almost up to the 10-metre line, and then isn't held and manages to twist over the 10-metre line. Good carry that from Olivon as Ireland look to steal. The referee's happy with that penalty. Ireland, I think Peter Omani with a captain's job on the floor then. Referee Carl Dixon gives the penalty, and Ireland snuff out that French attack.
Big turnover by Peter O'Mahony. That is leading by example there. That's why at the age of 34 people counted us down and out for many years, but he comes up with the big moments. And for Ireland to get on the scoreboard 3 points ahead, France tried to build something, but they'd be really disappointed. Fabien Galthié will be frustrated with this French team, because Ireland actually haven't really asked them any questions, but they're giving away too many simple penalties. And for France, with this crowd, they want to build on the atmosphere that we had at the start, and Ireland are doing a perfect job of silencing them.
Yeah, really unnecessary from Olivon. He just didn't need to pick and go there. You're in the second time they've been down in the Ireland inside the 40, and straight away he's picking and going up the middle on his own. They are trying too hard right now to try and score and get into the lead, maybe. That's what it screams of, in giving 2 penalties away in defence and trying to get off the line and make tackles. Yeah, great turnover from Peter Mane.
Well, Andrew Porter was getting some treatment, and now it looks like he's coming off. Maybe for a head injury assessment.
I think it's a HIA, yeah.
So, I mean, Cian Healy's still trucking, Tommy. I mean, I know he got injured before the World Cup, so he's probably feels he wants to finish his international career with a flourish. But at 36, 126th cap, what an effort. As Carl Dixon, I think, is looking for some foul play here, which may have contributed to Andrew Porter's head injury.
Yeah, big blow, Andrew Porter going off there. Cian Healy, as you mentioned, 36 years of age. What a career he's had. People have written him off, he's come back, written him off, he's come back again. Let's take a look at what happened, Andrew Porter. Now, he goes in to try and poach the ball.
It's not the best angle, there's another one coming up.
And I think it's Willemse catches him with an arm on the side of the head. Oh, that's trouble. That's a shoulder right on the temple.
Okay, so, Ben, we do have head contact, and it is foul play, and it meets the yellow card threshold.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so can we got a number, please? 5. Reach this yellow card threshold. Bunker review.
So Paul Willemse is going to the sin bin. As you may remember from the World Cup, the bunker is in operation in the Six Nations. So for 10 minutes, the bunker official will look at it and decide whether it needs to be upgraded to a red or whether a yellow card suffices. As Tommy Bowe says, it's clear head contact. He definitely is trying to make a legal clear. It's just to what extent the bunker official rules it dangerous, high force, reckless, and all the various checkpoints that could lead to a potential red card for Paul Willemse.
It's really, really frustrating. 8 minutes into this match, we're talking about the atmosphere, the excitement ahead of this game. I can't see how that's not going to be a red card. It's a clear shoulder to the side of Porter's head. Porter's had to go off with a head injury assessment. If you're trying to make this game as safe as possible, you have to try and penalise these guys. It's just such a frustrating, a bad decision. We were talking about Fabien Galtier would be frustrated with this French side because they've given away a lot of bad penalties, and that is the ultimate penalty.
Well, we'll discuss that Willemse challenge in a moment, but let's see what Ireland can do with this attack. Henshaw, a couple of big passes from left to right, ends up with Calvin Nash, just a second cap for the Munsterman. He is caught by Moefana, almost taken out of touch, but does well to get it to ground. 3-0 Ireland, who have a man advantage for the next 10 minutes at least, as Aki feeds Tyg Byrne just short of the 10-metre line. Just over halfway now for Crowley, out the back to Aki, playing without a number, Bundy Aki. Links with Henshaw, his centre pairing. Ireland going through their phases. Out the back from Healy, Crowley. Hugo Keenan up from fullback, nice hands from the fullback. Nash will kick for himself. Will it bounce? Yes, it does. Ramos cleans up nicely, finds Moefana. Moefana on the wing, normally a centre. Ireland really growing into this game after 10 minutes in Marseille. They lead by 3. They have a man advantage with Willemse in the sin bin, and they have France pinned back in their own 22 as Cyril Bay comes dancing into centre field. The crowd trying to urge their team into this game. They trail by 3, and Luku's kick isn't great. Chris Ashton gives Ireland a nice platform just outside the 22.
Yeah, France's defence is solid through the middle. It's when Ireland throw it wide, they look a bit unsure. Moefana hasn't played too much on the wing this season so far. He just looks a little unsure of who's taking that last man, and it creates a bit of space for Ireland up the touchline. They'll be happy about that. They've obviously seen something that they can take advantage during the touchline. You wouldn't really know. Ireland up the middle aren't making too many inroads.
No, because France, they're coming up really hard in the middle. They're so big. There's no space there, but there's an awful lot of space out wide. And it's similar whenever France are attacking too. They're seeing the space out wide with the Irish attack. But what I love to see is high fives between the Irish players. They're obviously feeling confident. They're feeling like things are going the right direction at the minute.
Bundy Aki's a first receiver, and he makes half a break. Up to and over the 22. There are Irish players to the right here. One of them's McCarthy, who steps inside and shows really good power to thunder to about 15 metres out. Caelan Doris now, just the hint that the Irish have their tails up in the velodrome. Gibson Park comes to the left. Crowley kicks for himself. It's run out of play, and it will be a scrum back or a 22 he kicked it from around the 22, so will be a 22. And Penno goes quickly. That is clever. And he's gonna dribble. The ball's gonna dribble out just short of the 22. So quick thinking from Damien Penno.
I love that. I've got a lot of time for Penno. He's not been involved in the game yet, and he wants to just get his hands on the ball and get it going. And had it not been Keegan at the back there, it would have been a race on.
I mean, that is your worst nightmare whenever you're going back on a ball like that and you've got someone like Damien Penno chasing after you. But I actually think Crowley, he kicked it over the dead ball line just from the 22. I think it was the right call. There was nobody in behind, but unfortunately he just had it at the wrong angle and just a little bit too much on it.
Oh, the game's been played at decent pace as Ireland already take their line out, and Van der Fleer comes steaming away up to the 10-metre line. Gibson Park will kick under pressure from Malvaca. He gets it away though. Penno is under it. He's really awkwardly handled that. Penno juggled with it, and even though it went backwards, Ireland are all over that ball on the floor. Penalty France though. Ireland taking liberties at the ruck with it formed, hands in. But Tommy, I was about to ask you whether Ireland, exactly where they want to be after. They want to be 20 points up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Given they're away at a place like this, they
couldn't be much better.
Territory possession. They've got a 3-0 lead.
3-0 lead. One man in the bin. Potentially could be off for the full game. Obviously, we don't want to see red cards in this game, but I think you have to think about players' safety. But from an Irish point of view, they knew the atmosphere was going to be massive here. They knew that the French were going to come out of the blocks early, but they've absolutely weathered the storm in the opening 12 minutes.
Well, they're still looking at that Willemse yellow card. I wonder if the fact he is trying to wrap and do a legal clear may save him. It wasn't a tucked shoulder. We shall see what is decided with 5 minutes left of the sin bin, but it could be a lot worse for Willemse as the bunker official reviews. Luku to Fiku. Halfway line, that's good defence, Bundyaki. France have been kept pointless by Ireland so far, and Ireland are starting to really feel some decent energy in defence. France 0, Ireland 3. 5 Live Sport from the BBC. As Luku clears with more of a box kick than a clearance kick, but it's gone a bit too long, and James Lowe, Chris Ashton takes it with ease inside his 22.
Yes, you can tell they're playing with 14-man France. They just really don't know what to do with the ball around the midfield, and you've got to put an Anton Dupont knocking around. He just seems to solve those problems with you, and he has for the past few years for France. When you've not got him, you've got to look elsewhere, and it's not naturally Jalibert's game plan. He likes to run, he likes to be on the front foot. So with Ireland's defence is strong like that, they're struggling to find a solution to it.
Bundyaki, the Irish 12, looks like he's finding that form exactly that we saw in the Rugby World Cup. He was one of Ireland's standout performers as well. And going into this competition, there was the young Leinster second row, Joe McCarthy. 22 years of age. It's his first ever time playing in the Six Nations, and he really looks like he's one for the future.
Malvaca to throw, nice drill for France. As Olivon from Aldrit's line-out claim, they switch the play, trying to set up a 50-22 maybe for Ramos, but well read by Ireland and Lowe, who took that, didn't call them up, had so much time, and that's a good kick, I think, from James Lowe. Depends on the bounce. Ramos inside his 22, he'll look for touch. Willie up to halfway, no, again down the throat of Lowe. 15 minutes gone in the Velodrome, and Marseillaise rings around, but not with the deafening decibels we heard before kick-off. Lowe goes too deep, and it's going to run out of play, is it? Well, Jalibert could have probably stepped over the dead ball line and got a scrum back. He's cleared his lines, and it gives Ireland a line out in between the 10 metre and the 22.
I don't know if the rules have changed.
They have changed.
Since we've... OK, Chris Ashton, you've been the last to retire. What is it?
You can't do that anymore, Jones.
You can't have your foot...
Even if the ball's moving. You can't if the ball's stationary, you never can.
Yeah,
but
I don't think that was moving close enough to the line.
Okay.
If his foot is over the line and he puts his hand on it, then I think it's a scrum back.
Yeah, the ball definitely has to be moving. He then didn't want to dot it down because it had been a goal line, so
it stopped dead.
It's worked out really well for.
So review of the yellow card. It's going to remain a yellow card because there's a drop in height by Ireland 1 for the contact. Okay, happy? Perfect, let's go.
I mean, great for the game, but I don't know, it was a clear shoulder to the head.
It is, but as he just said, that Andrew Porter was going down. It's very difficult. Willemse is a massive, massive man. He is crouched to try and get himself as low as he can. I think France will be very, very happy with that one.
Well, Aldrit was nodding. Peter Amani, Carl Dixon said, "Are you happy?" And Amani didn't say, "Yes, I'm delighted." Either way, Willemse will be coming back on, and we will pick this up on the Rugby Union Daily podcast, which will be out just after the full-time whistle as Ireland comes steaming into 22. Aki inside to Gibson Park, and Gibson Park is in. What a dream start for Ireland. Gibson Park with the game's first try, with the Six Nations 2024's first try, and it's beautifully worked. Bundy Aki prominent, ruthless from Ireland. Gibson Park in.
Bundy Aki again, we spoke about it in a few minutes. He's back on form, exactly like we saw in the Rugby World Cup. Brilliant. He's sucking in 2 or 3 players in the set-up play off the line-out, and then second phase, he looks like he's trying to draw in the French defenders. The French defenders come off him. He goes through. He's able to get his hands through it, and the inside pass to Gibson Park. Always what you want is your scrum half
offload.
Trailing on the inside. Unbelievable offload by Bundy Aki. 3 players around him.
He's had 2 touches there, one off the line out to give the pass, and then followed round the corner and picked the ball up again off Henshaw. But just, you're either born with that or you're not. That awareness of being able to ride 2 players and get the ball away to Gibson Park is just, it's talent alone.
And some players, when they're on form, these things just seem to happen for them, and he is 100% on form at the moment.
Yeah, it's mad to think that for all the brilliance of Gary Ringrose and Robbie Henshaw, he's the number 1 centre in Ireland, Bundy Aki, the last couple of years. Ringrose injured, Henshaw starts, Crowley for 10-0, he nails it, and just when we thought France would be buoyed, Ashy, by Willemse's yellow staying as the yellow, France have hit them with a 7. France 0, Ireland 10. What a magnificent foothold Ireland have in this game after 17 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to need some character here to see from France to get themselves back in this game. But the Irish, the way they're going about it reminds me of when they were in New Zealand in the summer.
Yeah, really calm, collect. They're not doing anything too extraordinary. I think France are more shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, I was about to say, Tommy, they were running it out from their own 22, but then Lowe kicked. So interesting how often Lowe's kicking with that big left boot of his, and he's been great at it so far. He's fielding a little chip from Jalabert, and I wonder if this crowd is kind of moving from a bit of raucous excitement to maybe a touch of nerves and trepidation and frustration.
You can see here from France's point of view, Ireland are camped deep in their half, but France have only put 1 player in the backfield. Jalabert, Ramos it is, he's back there all by himself. You can see Mofana, who's the left wing for France. He normally plays in the centre. He looks completely out of position.
Fiku kicked forward, Gibson Park took it regally, and then Crowley with a kind of Juan Martin and Anders banana kick, which Ramos fields. He then kicks to Gibson Park, the try scorer, and they look so chilled here, Gibson Park and Lowe, all the time in the world. And France really do need Willemse back on, get up to 15 and get their game together, because Ireland are bossing this. They lead by 10.
There's no kick chase anytime France are kicking it long. Both teams are just standing there. France, they're packed, they're waiting to be put onside, but it doesn't look like it's either Jalabert, Ramos, Mofana. They don't seem to be chasing their kicks, so James Lowe has a mountain of time to try and pick where he wants to put it.
I can't see that law lasting much longer. Well, you don't have to move until 5 metres.
Yeah, it's going to be tweaked. It's going to be tweaked. So then the loiterers will have to retreat or be played on to try and prevent the kind of kick tennis. But even though we've seen a lot of kicking, it's been a compelling 20 minutes. France 0, Ireland 10, and after the anthems we thought France would just explode into this game. So it's been an astonishing effort from Ireland, with 20 minutes gone to be in control, and now Byrne is all over Luku, and Ireland are almost in again here. They've got turnover ball in France's 22. Can they get it wide? Lovely hands furlong. Aki was almost through, but it's been knocked on, and now France might be out of play. 2 knock-ons, says Carl Dixon. Scrum France, but Ireland are asking so many questions here.
Oh my goodness, such an opportunity there for Bundy Aki. He could see the hole. He was pretty much through it. The pass just didn't go right into his gut where he wanted it, but wonderful by Tadhg Byrne. France tried to set up a simple driving ball into a box kick. Tadhg Byrne, though, hanging off the side of the maul, knew exactly what he was going to do. Pounced on Luku's foot, and Ireland turned it over. Jack Crowley, it looked like actually Dante just got a hand to it and disrupted the pass to Bundy Aki, because I think he would have been clear underneath the posts.
Just seeing a camera on Andy Farrell's reaction. I want to see a camera on Sean Edwards' reaction right now, because France are just all over the place. They can't clear the box kick, and then in defence they couldn't recover in time. We've got lads stepping in, trying to hit people that haven't got the ball. I would like to know what Sean Edwards is thinking.
Let's go.
Yeah, it looks like the occasion has got to this French side. They knew what a big spectacle it was going to be coming to Marseille. They knew that the expectation in that Rugby World Cup, this was their time to put that to bed, and it looks like they haven't dealt with it well.
Ireland have got France a bit on the run here, haven't they? As you spotted, Tommy, there was a knock-on in the tackle from a French player. Wasn't an illegal attempt to play the ball.
It's about doing the simple things right, though, Chris. This is what Test match rugby is all about. This is what normally France are so good about. They're clinical. They get Antoine Toubon can spark something out of nowhere, but they do the simple things well. But at the moment, they're making loads of small errors and handing it to Ireland on a plate.
Okay, quick reset.
That's the bit that we're missing here with him not being a... Yes, he is an unbelievable player, but his nuts and bolts are so good. Clearing his team out of any sort of pressure off both feet. He kicks the ball 60 metres with ease under no pressure. That's the stuff that you take for granted.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's not just the brilliance, but the basics as well. So it's an Ireland scrum. It's bang in centre field. By the way, Cian Healy is staying on now. Andrew Porter didn't pass his HIA.
Brilliant opportunity for Ireland to attack right here. Crowley to come with Calvin Nash and Gibson Park. They have a 3-on-2.
They've done exactly that, Tommy. Well called. Crowley's almost up to the line. He's only about 6 metres, 4 metres short. Oh, and if they'd given that, McCarthy could have walked it in. What an opportunity for Ireland here. They lead by 10 and they're almost up to the line. Held up, says Carl Dixon. Oh, just a tad more composure. And Ireland could have been 17 clear in Marseille.
Oh, that was exactly going back to the quarter-final against New Zealand. They had that chance. They had people queuing up to score the try, and Jordy Barrett held somebody up over the line. I don't know why.
It's always a forward's fault.
It's always a bloody forward's fault. Just get it out to the wingers out wide. They would have walked it in, but wonderful attack by Ireland off that scrum. They saw so much space down the short-hand side. And to be fair to Jack Crowley, a young guy who's come in, and Johnny Sexton's shadow, he's been excellent in the opening 20 minutes.
And this is exactly what he would have wanted, Andy Farrell would have wanted. I mean, if he was Ireland were 10-15 down to the French juggernaut, what an introduction to Six Nations rugby. Instead, Ireland are 10 points up. Crowley's growing into the game, Ireland are growing into the game, and Ireland have a penalty as France infringe at the ruck. And surely they go for goal for 13-0 as Peter O'Mahony talks to Carl Dixon and says, let's go for goal.
Ireland, France again just letting Ireland off the hook.
And the players on the floor, more than one, were pushing the ball back.
We're like trying to practice to not fucking take that extra bit, so we'll endeavour to get that ball back as quickly as we can.
Perfect. Okay, thanks.
Actually, you may have heard some fruity language over the ref mic, for which we apologise, but Peter O'Mahony's pumped, isn't he?
Yeah.
His first gig as full-time Ireland captain. His team are 10-0 up, and Crowley has got this kick for goal, which you'd expect, given the confidence he's playing with, for him to nail. And then 13-0 in the Velodrome kind of becomes dreamland stuff, Tommy.
Yeah, it seems like so long ago that we were commenting on the noise, the decibel level of the French national anthem and how this is going to really rock this Irish team. But there's only one team it looks like it's rocked at the moment, and it's the French. And a really big opportunity now for Crowley right in front of the post to always just put it wide.
He's pushed it to the right. He's pushed it to the right, and just when we were talking up his confidence,
That's a lifeline.
it's a lifeline for France, a bad miss from Crowley. And to correct myself, Andrew Porter is back on, so he has passed his HIA. Cross wires there, but Andrew Porter's back on after that Willemse challenge that received just the yellow card after the bunker review. It is all happening with 24 minutes gone. Crowley missed his kick. Ashley France 0, Ireland 10 as Janibek kicks off.
Because Ireland are so efficient, they're so good at getting through the phases, everybody knows the role, and it just seems to flow when they're in that groove. They can frustrate you, and that's why France are trying so hard. And just as I taught them up.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Tommy, they're playing so well, Ireland, but a missed kick, a drop ball, listen to the crowd now. Next score is France, and suddenly the whole complexion changes.
We all know about momentum, and those small momentum changes can have a massive impact, and you've already heard it around the crowd. People at home can probably hear the crowd, just people starting to get up on their feet again. It only takes a small amount for this French team. We know how good they are, but they've been absolutely on the back foot in this opening 25 minutes. But Crowley missed that kick, gives him an opportunity. All of a sudden, Joe McCarthy drops the ball. The tails start to go up for France. They have a brilliant attacking opportunity right in the middle of the park. A scrum. Interesting to see which way they take the attack.
We were 25 minutes in. I don't recall Dante hitting one line yet.
Crouch!
Been quiet, hasn't he, Jonathan Dante?
Bind!
10-0 Ireland. 25 minutes gone, but France, for the first time in what feels like ages, have a platform on the sponsor's logo that says Six Nations greatness. Who's going to move towards greatness this championship? As France try to move it, but they have a penalty advantage. Carl Dixon rewards the French at the scrum. Penaud almost got away down the right. I think Andrew Porter's been singled out there, Tommy Bowe, and this is an interesting decision for France. Do they kick for goal to get on the board and give the crowd something to cheer?
I think they need to go to the corner. They have to go to the corner. This is their opportunity. We've twice called it wrong. Okay, that's why we are not captains, so we don't make these decisions.
I think going to the corner, they've been in the 22 once when they got put in touch, that's it, in 25 minutes. No, they're putting an awful lot of pressure onto this kick, and I know it's Ramos and he kicks this for breakfast, but it puts a lot of pressure on getting this over.
It does, but I suppose a sec ago, Crowley's going for goal for 13-0. This goes over for 10-3, and there's a bit of a 6-point swing there.
One thing that I really noticed on that scrum, yes, they knew that they had the penalty, France did, but Luku just didn't look like he has the same aura, he doesn't have the same danger that Ireland would be so wary about if it had been Antoine Dupont. Gibson Park was all over him.
45 metres, Ramos, what a kick! Just about had the legs. And the tricolours fly all round the velodrome. Belatedly, France are on the board. And now the light show goes off. What will it be like when they score a try?
If they score a try.
If they score a try, we should say. France 3, Ireland 10. And for all Ireland's excellence, France are on the board, Chris Ashton, as we edge towards the half-hour mark on 5 Live.
Yes, really important for France and pressure on Ramos, but as we all know, he is so good at these kicks like that.
He's an amazing kicking form, isn't he? And now he's gathered what was an excellent restart from Crowley and a brilliant chase, Tommy Bowe, that just feeds into what we've been talking about how Ireland's energy levels are right up there.
They're really interesting from Ireland's restarts as well. They're not going to a particular side, they're putting it right down the middle, which makes it that little bit more difficult for Luku, the French number 9, to try and hit touch, which is exactly as this has proved.
He may have got a touch from an Ireland hand.
Definitely.
No. The touch judge on this side is happy that it's going to be an Ireland line out, but the point you made, Ashley, such a good one. Dupont is clearing that 50-60, isn't he? And that's
it's
something
the same as on the back of the scrum we just got a penalty from. He gets away from that scrum with ease and puts someone into space.
And he's the sort of guy that he drags in 2 defenders. You can't just have one person marking him because he's so dangerous. Where Luku, it's easy for Gibson Park to just feel like he can pressure him because he knows he's not going anywhere.
Well, Ireland's line-out's been excellent, and here comes Nash off his wing. Nice set-piece move, takes him about 20 metres up from the line-out, and a powerful carry from Doris takes the Irish into the 22. They're playing with real vigour here. Van der Fleer with a run-up in his red scrum cap, inside the 22. To the left, Crowley, Robbie Henshaw. 15 metres or so short of that French line, as Doris again carries. Great quick ball. Furlong is the link. Byrne ends up taking it and shows good pace for a second row. Big tackle coming in on Tyke Byrne. Furlong did so well to link, but the pass didn't get a hand. Here goes Hugo Keenan. Gibson Park, what have Ireland got here? Deep in the red zone with this 10-3 lead, almost half an hour gone in the velodrome. Furlong met by a posse of Frenchmen on the gain line. Gibson Park, Crowley, lovely ball, and Tyke Byrne's under the post. That was so easy. Beautifully done from Crowley. And what a finish from Byrne, and France looks shocked here in the velodrome.
Just the Ireland attack, they're just playing a tempo, run 3-4 options all the time, an inside pass, an outside pass, and one out the back as well. This time Jack Crowley took it to the line, gave the eyes as if he was passing out to the back to Hugo Keenan, and Tyke Byrne ran short on the shoulder. A wonderful pass. Defenders were nowhere to be seen. Tyke Byrne straight in underneath the posts.
Oh, what a soft pass from Crowley. He took the hit just to put Byrne through the gap. It's the variety that they've got in their attack. France don't know where the ball's going to go next. They can't slow the rucks down. It's so fast. You got lads coming short. Van der Fleer just keep getting up and carrying and carrying. Great attack.
Dante, the French centre, he's normally the linchpin of this French defence. He's normally right up in the attacker's faces. He's on his back feet there. He doesn't know whether to go left. He doesn't know whether to go right. He went out to try and tackle the man out the back, and it was a nice slip pass to Tyburn. He'll not get much easier tries than that.
Crowley throws it over. He couldn't miss. And look, excellent attack from Ireland, guys, but France all over the place defensively.
Sean Edwards, I mean, as we've just said, we'd love to see a player cam on him at the moment, because he is going to be spitting blood big time.
Well, the difference in intensity between the two sides, glaring. Ireland, magnificent. France have been rudderless this half hour. And Ireland just got to keep playing, haven't they? Because this crowd does not know what's hit them. France 3, Ireland 17. 2 Irish tries, Gibson Park and Byrne. Jack Crowley looking to the man of Bourne. France needs something, and they will get a set-piece opportunity here, Chris Ashton, as Lowe, for once, doesn't get all of his clearance kick, and it gives France a line out just outside the Irish 22.
France just like they're operating about 75%. Lads are jogging on kick chases, slow to get off the floor. Sometimes a team needs half-time to come quickly, don't they? And France need to get some out of this and get in the sheds and get a good talking to.
TMO check.
Oh, we've got another
This is
TMO
Willemse
check.
again. I thought I saw it line.
Okay.
Willemse was high again, too high in the tackle.
Okay. So it's second, so it's going to be... Yeah, no.
Carl Dixon just talking to Matt Carley, one of his assistants. We haven't seen the instant yet on the big screen. It should be coming shortly, and this could be another huge moment. You think it's Willemse, Ashley, do you?
Yeah, just went too high when the pass was made.
On Caelan Doris carrying here, puts on a bit of footwork.
Here we go.
It is Willemse again.
Well, let's have a look at the contact. He's upright.
He's definitely got it on the head and neck area. So, yes, we do have head contact. Yes, we do have foul play because the player's sitting up. So it does meet the yellow card threshold.
Yes.
That's his second yellow card.
Still send it to the bunker.
Yeah, still second yellow card, okay? So it's going to be a yellow card against 5.
It's impossible to take off.
So it's going to the bunker for review because it meets the threshold.
How do you want us to take off?
It's a yellow card. And it's the second yellow card, so it's a red card.
Red card for Paul Willemse. He will play no further part. So even if this gets upgraded to a red,
Get the mark
which will have an
here.
impact on any ban, it's a definite red card for Willemse because he's been yellow carded twice. So France, Tommy, 50 minutes now with 14 men, and they trail by 14 points. It's a nightmare for the French.
Absolute nightmare for the French. He's put the rest of his teammates in it on that one. His second red card, or second yellow card. He probably could have got a red card the first time around. It's just reckless. I mean, as Chris Ashton just said, they can't wait to get in at half-time. They look like they're at 1s and 2s.
They look like the French of 5 years ago.
Yeah. And a reckless decision like that, it just puts so much pressure on your teammates.
I don't get how he's been sat there for 10 minutes gone, right, I need to really, really go low here, and he comes back on and does that.
Because I think there was I don't think that will be upgraded to red because of the big drop in height, but he's so upright, isn't he, Willemse? And he's got to be on, excuse the pun, red alert after already being sin-binned.
Oh, nice quick line out by Ireland.
Are just fizzing here, aren't they? Gibson Park, Crowley looking to kick over there to Ramos. Just goes dead out of play. So line out back. And the thing is, sometimes, guys, you'd have played in matches when you're down a man and you could try and hang on and scrap. France are 14 points down. They can't just kick and scrap and fight and try and hang in the game. Otherwise they'll get completely blasted here.
Yeah, really frustrating from a French point of view. You can see him now, he's in the dugout with his head in his hands. He's let his team down. He's let 76,000 supporters here in Marseille down. But from Ireland, they need to still keep their composure. Jack Crowley just kicked the ball into touch. It looked like it was a set piece at the practice at home in the training field. It didn't quite work out, but they don't need to be complacent.
Half-time is 7.5 minutes away. I'm not sure who wants to keep playing as Porter levels Luku, and the fans really felt there was something in that. Carl Dixon says it was chest. Listen to this crowd. A crowd are going to get very hostile, you feel, if things continue not to go France's way. France have to respond even with a man down. And if you're just joining us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, 33 minutes played, 17-3 to Ireland away from home in Marseille, and France also have a man sent off in Paul Willemse. But they do, Chris Ashton, now have a penalty, and surely Jalibert will try and drive this as close to the corner flag as possible.
They'll be thankful for the penalty that Ireland just gave them. Sheenan, I think, was just in the space. But France had nothing. They're all stood around the looking, hoping someone comes up with something. Jalibert's kicked the ball maybe 10 metres. He's hardly kicked the ball at all. They'll be thankful for the penalty to try and get some sort of momentum going off this line out.
They actually need to. They need to try and make this a game, because so far they're bringing nothing to this match.
France win it at the front of the line out on the Irish 22 with 6 minutes to go of this highly eventful first half, the first half of this Six Nations Championship, and France are going nowhere at the maul. And I think Ireland are going to win a scrum here unless Luku can play it. Yes, he does. Ficou's a bit static. They're really quite bunched over near the far touchline, the French. They do have Moefana hugging this touchline, but the ball is only 5 minutes in from play. Is Ireland going to get a penalty here? No, it's gone France's way.
Tripped over you. This player has tripped over you. Roll away, please.
As Ireland don't roll away, eagle-eyed Carl Dixon. Oh, France have to get something from this now, don't they? And interesting how the big screen is kind of replaying the incident in sort of cartoon form to help the crowd out.
Oh my goodness, he had a chance to put it 5 metres from the line. It looks like he's 10 metres from 15 metres. I mean, it looked like one of us tried to kick that in there, but a great eagle eye exactly by Carl Dixon, because I thought Peter O'Mahony was over that ball. It would have been a clear penalty for Ireland, but France now in the ascendancy, a big opportunity to try and get themselves back into this game.
14-man France 3, Ireland 17. Six Nations winners Tommy Bowe and Chris Ashton with us, as last year's Six Nations winners Ireland nicked the line out, everything going the Irish way. Half-time 5 minutes away, and France's best attacking situation of this game by miles snuffed out by Ireland, and Lowe clears the lines, Ashley, way past the 22.
It's just the same as what we mentioned a few minutes ago, just a bit lacklustre from France. I mean, it starts with Jalibert. It seems like he's so under pressure. He's maximum 12 metres out from the try line, and he kicks it 4 metres. Just to not put that 5 metres out is really not acceptable, and then to lose the line out. They're just at 6s and 7s right now, France.
And the fields of Athenry, the only thing we can hear from the crowd as France's line out goes to pot, they knock it on.
At the line out, 115.
Well, France are all over the place.
At the line out.
And both the Ireland fans and the Ireland players, Tommy Bowe, and dare I say the Ireland ex-players in commentary, are pretty happy with life. France 3, Ireland 17.
Absolutely. Fields of Athenry ringing out around this stadium. There's little pockets of green everywhere. But what I love to see is Tadhg going and giving the backs high fives. They're in this together. They are so tight. They've been in Portugal for a week. Looks like whatever they've been doing over there has really worked, because they're all singing off the same hymn sheet. A lot of question marks going into this game about the Ireland line-out, but they are putting all the pressure back onto this French pack, back onto this French line-out. And so far they are 100% on top.
Yeah. Maxime!
Ireland scrum.
Maxime! Close! Crouch!
Just short of the 10-metre line in Irish territory.
Let's go, quick reset.
And this crowd that was in such phenomenal voice before the game. The Marseillaise, never heard a rendition like it, even during the World Cup. It was something else. But Ireland have silenced the crowd and sapped all the energy and intensity out of this French team.
Let's go, seconds.
Just
France 3, Ireland 17, Ashley.
Just a backfield setup of France. They just don't know what to do. Moefana doesn't know where to stand here. He's not comfortable. Ireland giving an opportunity for Ireland to play the ball out here with quite ease.
Penalty France, though. The one area, even without the hulk of Paul Willemse, the one area they are getting some joys at the scrum.
One.
And if Jalibert is going to go for the corner here, guys, he's got to actually put it to the corner, hasn't he?
Ramos.
These are the small moments that Ireland need to not take the foot off the pressure on this French side. They have them on the rack, but penalties like that, 8 up against 7, Ireland shouldn't be giving away a penalty in a scrum like that. And as Chris Ashton was saying, like, the field was open for them to put the ball wherever they wanted to.
Got to give the ball right there from Jalibert to Ramos. He's the best kicker. Jalibert took 4 metres to get that ball into touch.
It was better, but still not great. And their line-out's awful tonight, France, but they do have it. And Dante at last has the ball in his hands, but he's met on the gain line by a green wall. 20 metres out, the French, who trail by 14, and they have just 14 men. Aldrit driving as the French keep it tight. What a carry, Greg Aldrit. Luku to the right. Cyril Baille to within 5. Now listen to the noise in the velodrome. Luku comes to the right. They power on through Malvaca. 4 metres out, the French. They need a score before half-time. Can they provide it? Luku and the forwards now drive on. 5 metres out. There for the scrum half, Luku. Here's captain Aldrit. Another big bust from the La Rochelle man. 4 metres out. Luku to Ficou. He's a bit isolated there, Gael Ficou. But the clearing's good. Luku, Jalibert, there are numbers, are there? Penaud, great tackle. Hugo Keenan, Luku keeps it alive. Mofana loses it. Back for the penalty.
What a tackle by Hugo Keenan on the edge. France with 3-4 numbers on the outside. Hugo Keenan picked his man, sent him backwards. France have got a penalty. Only 1 out runners though. It just shows exactly how they've no confidence at the minute. Not able to string a pass together, but they've such big players that they can just grind it over the gain line.
It was definitely on for France to shift it and play. You can see Jalibert is just not calling for the ball. He doesn't want the ball out the backs. He doesn't feel comfortable. I mean, that's partly down to Ireland's great line speed and making him feel like he's under pressure. But
interesting to see what they're going to do here, because they have a penalty right in the middle of the 22, right in the centre of the pitch as well. Do you go for a scrum? It is a perfect opportunity for a scrum.
Have to. It's been so strong for them. It's all they've got.
Everything we're saying they're going to do, they're doing the opposite. We say scrum, Jalibert says line out.
Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah. Let's get one of you guys out there, like an NFL coach. Get you on the walkie-talkie.
That's why they're losing.
They need to, well, I don't know if you'd work as a France consultant playing against Ireland, Tommy, but maybe Ashi, a hero of these parts because of his exploits with Toulon, often gets stopped in cafes and bars by Toulon fans. Their line-out again hasn't gone to hand. They keep kicking to the corner and then messing the line-out up. But they've got a penalty advantage because Ireland were infringing. All France. With 30 seconds left of this half, penalty. What are France going to do? Malvaca goes quickly. Here goes Malvaca. Listen to the noise. He's a couple of inches short, the hooker. Ireland's fringe defence superb, but they're on the rack ever so slightly, Ireland. With France 1 metre out. Luku digs. He gets it out to the massive Antonio, who's only a couple of feet short. Numbers for France. Jalibert. Oh, what a try. Back in this one now.
Oh, when you need somebody to pull you out of a hole, no better man than Damien Penaud on Jalibert's shoulder. They've got to the front foot. France, as we said, every time they go to the corner they get turned over. Every time they scrum they get a penalty, but boy, when they carry the ball, they're such big men. Ireland's defence was epic, but once they get over that gain line, they get a head of steam up. They're a very difficult team to stop. Game on.
That try's got to be down to the forwards. Malvaca, Antonio was the second to last try carry before the try. Took 4 Irish players with him. Jalibert, Penaud did the fancy stuff, but Vaca just didn't even think. He was off. He was like, we're not going to touch again.
But some intensity from France and some energy, which we've not seen enough of. Malvaca there.
Well, Luku has not been bringing that intensity. Jalibert, as Chris has mentioned earlier, he's not been bringing that intensity and that speed to the game. It came up to Malvaca, who plays for Toulouse, who plays normally with Penaud as well, and listen, with Dupont as well. They play at that sort of tempo game, and that's exactly what they needed. France are back in this game again, and it looks like Ramos has nailed the conversion.
He has nailed the conversion, and that is half-time. Wow. France 10, Ireland 17. The score doesn't tell the whole story. Ireland at one point led 17-3 and were bossing this. Paul Willemse, 1 yellow card. Reprieve by the bunker, another yellow card. Red card for the France lock. And then right on the buzzer, Damien Penaud from Jalabert's pass, the Bordeaux 1-2. Ramos converts and the French crowd back in this game. There'd been silence for 30 minutes plus. They've scored on half-time, Sonia. They're a man down. They're 7 points down. But if this crowd believe, maybe the French players believe too. France 10, Ireland 17.
What a way to open the Six Nations Championship. It's a sort of half of rugby that you just cannot take your eyes off it. And as Chris says, such a vital try for France just before the interval, because now they're only 7 points down. And given they've got a man in the bin, or row with the red card rather, that is not a bad place for the French to be. Guys, is that just Ireland just playing so well in that first 40, or were France just really poor early on?
I'm going to say that it was Ireland. They were putting them under the pressure. Listen, I think we can't deny that France are not the side that we have seen, particularly in the World Cup, maybe in the Six Nations before that. They looked like they were caught in the headlights here in Marseille, and they didn't open up the game well and played perfectly into the way Ireland wanted to play. But they'll be delighted. Andy Farrell couldn't have asked for more from his team. He'd just be very, very frustrated with that try. You know, they're the crucial minutes just before and after half-time, and we're seeing the players in the change room at the minute. Their heads are down. But 2 tries to 1 up so far. There's a red card for France. It's all in Ireland's favour at the moment.
That rendition of the Marseillaise was something quite special. A phenomenal, crackling atmosphere at the Stade Velodrome. Did that have a bearing on how France started this game, Chris?
Apparently not, Sonia.
No, I meant as in the negative,
I don't think so. No, that can't have a negative. It can only be positive. It's not like we're talking about the haka where you're using energy to do a war dance.
Can I just make a point? Goldie Sayers, who used to throw a javelin very successfully for Britain, she's the current British record holder, Olympian, etc., etc. She used to talk in sport about the point of arousal, and that sometimes you are over-aroused as an athlete. Don't laugh. I'm not using it in that context, Christopher. Can you be?
Who do you want to answer this one, Sonia?
Go on. Well, Chris is laughing. I want somebody who's played Test match rugby to answer this question. So that's either Tommy or Chris.
I don't think so. I don't think in rugby environment, rugby atmosphere, you know what's coming. You know how to handle it. Whether it's good atmosphere, they've been there and done it, and they know what to expect. I think it just seemed they were off the tempo, and there's probably not a worse team in the championship to be playing who are so good at speed of ball, moving when they get it right, of moving the ball, contact, speed. France just couldn't keep up, and throw into that with how lacklustre they looked. They slow on kick chase, just slow getting round the corner. And Ireland played so well for 36 minutes. They did everything right.
Yeah, no, to be honest with you, Sonia, I do hear what you're saying, and they talk about that ice in the veins.
Yes.
And it was really interesting from an Irish point of view that once the national anthem finished, France went and got set up in the kick-off restart area where Ireland went into a huddle, and they're circling, and you would have seen it in the Netflix documentary, where as a group they take 3 sharp breaths of air in, and it's almost to try and find that level of calm. And whatever it was, whatever it did work for them. France could have done with it, because that opening 10-15 minutes, they were all over the place.
Yeah, we'll be back for the second half talking about arousal. We're not quite at the watershed, but nearly. So that's okay on a Friday night, isn't it? Thanks, gang. Fantastic half of
You've left
rugby.
them speechless.
I know. That's a first when you've got Tommy Bowe on the programme. It has to be said.
Behave, Sonia, behave.
Great stuff, guys. We will be back for the second 40 at the Stade Velodrome in Marseille, because France are back in this, aren't they? They trailed by 7, but they have got that man in the bin in Paul Willemse. So exciting second 40 to come. Let's go back to the Championship. Remember, tonight we've got some football. Bristol City against Leeds. The visitors could go second with a 5th win on the bounce. Molly Stevens is at Ashton Gate.
Yeah, no sort of arousal here, sorry, Tonya. Bristol City 0, Leeds United 0, so they're obviously getting the memo. Leeds chasing a 5th straight win to take them second before their promotion rivals play tomorrow, and it's definitely Daniel Farke's side who'll be the most disappointed going into the dressing room tonight. They've played some lovely football, but they've missed some golden opportunities to get in front. Their players just fumbling in front of goal. Shouts for a penalty from Leeds players and fans as George Tanner brought Jorginho Rutter down in the box, but to no avail from the referee. So yeah, all to play for in the second half. It's Bristol City 0, Leeds United 0.
Thanks very much. Second half to come from France against Ireland here on 5 Live, the opening game of the 2024 Six Nations Championship. But first, the news with Nick Hatfield.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
A judge has sentenced 2 teenagers for murdering Brianna Jai in Warrington last year, saying they committed a brutal and sadistic crime. Scarlett Jenkinson was told she'll serve at least 22 years and Eddie Ratcliffe at least 20 years. Earlier, an order banning them from being named was lifted. The judge, Mrs. Justice Yips, says Jenkinson was motivated by a deep desire to kill.
You have lied so many times, Scarlett, that it is impossible to know what is true and what is not. There are, though, worrying things in the recent reports. You have expressed the desire to kill again. If those thoughts continue, you will not be released.
Police looking for a man over a corrosive substance attack say they've searched 5 properties in Newcastle and London. A mother and her 2 daughters were seriously injured in Clapham in South London on Wednesday. A judge has thrown out a public order case against Greta Thunberg and 4 other climate campaigners. They were arrested during a demonstration in central London in October. Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies, has died at the age of 76. He also appeared in Predator, Happy Gilmore and the Star Wars spin-off The Mandalorian. Speaking to the BBC in 2017, Weathers remembered meeting a famous fan.
Here comes this entourage of people walking down the street, and they were all very animated. And I looked up, and my God, right in the middle of it was Muhammad Ali. And he looked over and he saw me, and it was just this take, and he went, "It's Apollo Creed." And he came over and started throwing these punches, as you would when you were just shadow boxing. And I got up, and there we are in the middle of the street in Beverly Hills doing this, and people loved it.
And we've also heard this evening that the TV presenter Johnny Irwin, who appeared on Escape to the Country and A Place in the Sun, has died too. The 50-year-old was diagnosed with terminal cancer in 2020.
This is 5 Live Sport. Listen on BBC Sounds.
France 10, Ireland 17 in this opening match of the Men's Six Nations Championship. We'll be right back in Marseille for a second half commentary, but the Premier League is back this weekend. 6 commentaries for you here on 5 Live Sport. Newcastle against Luton is our 3 o'clock base tomorrow, and then on Sunday we've got Manchester United against West Ham to be followed by the big one, Arsenal against Liverpool. But let's look ahead to that one now with our team on the Football Daily podcast. Maz Faruqi is alongside ex-Wolves winger Matt Jarvis, as well as former Spurs captain Ledley King. Now, Liverpool's Darwin Núñez has been struggling of late, and here's King's spin on it.
Every individual is different. The best players, they're able to shrug that off and go into the next game confident. If you're a manager, if you're his teammates, you'll be explaining to him that he's doing the right things, getting in the right positions. Keep doing that and the goals will come. But he doesn't strike me as someone who's, going to shy away from continuing to make opportunities for himself. This is what we've seen from Núñez really since he's been in the Premier League. He's gets himself some fantastic chances, and his finishing is probably not up to elite level at this moment in time. But I like him as a player. I think that I think maybe next season he's going to improve even more, and I think everyone thinks there's a real big season in him. So yeah, I don't think it will play on his mind at all.
Yeah, what Ledley says there is true, isn't it? It kind of seems to keep happening to Darwin Núñez, Matt. Have there been times in your career where you've seen it sort of not happen for a player or a situation like that yourself? And I guess in that scenario, it's important as well to have the support of Klopp, and he has been very supportive, and the support your teammates in the dressing room as well, putting an arm around a player.
Yeah, but I think you'd be more frustrated if you weren't having them chances. I think the way that he is, and he doesn't look like he misses a chance, and the camera will pound on him, and it looks like it's gone. He's frustrated, but it's gone, and he's making that next run, and he's getting that next pass, and if he's not getting any shots away, or if he's not in the right position, then I think you then would be worried for him and thinking, oh, I'm not sure if he's quite there. But he gets himself back in another position, and he takes that opportunity, and he takes the penalty, and Klopp. He's a fantastic manager. He'll be working with him, and the good thing for him at the moment is the other players are doing well as well. The team's back to form. Jota's obviously been outstanding as well with his goals. So it's not all of the pressure on him, and I fully expect him to just completely carry on where he's left off, and he'll go again in his pace and power, and his all round game really, really scares defenders. So I think he'll be absolutely fine.
Well, Jurgen Klopp has revealed today, actually, that Nunez is a doubt for Sunday's game. He left Anfield on Wednesday night wearing a protective boot, and talking again today as well about those missed chances, that they might be a blow to his strikers' morale. But his reaction has proved there's no hangover.
I don't judge Darwin because of the crossbars moments. I judge him for the assist he has for Lucho, because that was late in the game, super decisive for us, super important for us. The run he makes, the way he gets in front of that defender, he sees Lucho coming, he puts the ball in, and Lucho can finish it off. That's outstanding, footballing-wise. Not being bothered about your own bad luck or whatever, just staying in the game, and after the game we can talk about everything, what we could have done better in this moment or that moment, but staying in the game, and that's what he did, and I'm more than happy with him.
Well, a win for Liverpool on Sunday would move them 8 points clear of second place Manchester City before they play at Brentford on Monday night, although they would have played 2 more games at that point than Pep Guardiola's side. Arsenal are third on goal difference behind City in the table. They go into Sunday's game off the back of a 2-1 win at Forest, in which Ben White and Alexander Zinchenko had to be separated at the full-time whistle. And Mikel Arteta was asked about how the pair have been getting on since that earlier.
They've been in the same house for the last 3 days, sharing wives and everything. So. That's fine. They living together. They're living together now. They are best mates. You don't argue with somebody you don't have a great relationship. You know, that happens because you have the trust and you have the chemistry with somebody to react the way he did. So.
Arteta joking there. I hope he's joking, but it's sounding pretty relaxed as well. I mean, Ledley, is that something you like to see from your teammates, that passion after a game?
I don't think it's necessarily something that you're looking for, but it's something that can happen at any moment. You know, there's been incidents on the training pitch where, you know, someone hasn't liked a certain tackle, you know, and people have got in each other's space. You know, that happens. But normally it's brushed off straight after training, you know. It's and it's always important for players to kind of play a part in making sure that it's done and dusted. It's forgotten about. You don't want any hangovers on that.
Arsenal could be 8 points behind Liverpool if they lose this match on Sunday, having played the same number of games as well. They don't have those games in hand like City do. Does this feel then like a bigger game for them than for Liverpool in a sense, and one really that they can't afford to lose rather than have to go for the win? Does it feel like that at all to you, Matt, first?
Yes. I think Arsenal are being at home as well. That's the added pressure, added incentive. It's just they just had a dip really at the moment, and Jesus back and scoring, which is huge for them because everyone's been saying about Arsenal's getting a centre forward needing goals. He's back, he's scoring goals, so that is a huge bonus for them. I think Saka as well. He was so influential in the way that they played last season, and this season he's just starting to get into the form that we saw.
Plenty more from Matt and Ledley on the latest episode of the Football Daily. You can get that now over on BBC Sounds. Now, in other sport, the undisputed heavyweight title fight between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk this month is off. The pair were set to meet in just over 2 weeks in Saudi Arabia, but Fury has suffered a freak cut in sparring. A brilliant batting display from Yashasvi Jaiswal helped India to close the first day of the second test against England on 336 for 6. He finished the day unbeaten on 179. There were 2 wickets each for the debutant. front, Shoaib Bashir and Rehan Ahmed. And there's plenty of reaction every day of England's tour to India in the TMS Daily podcast. And staying with cricket, Yorkshire's members have voted to approve a takeover of the club by a consortium led by a former chairman, Colin Graves. And his previous time at Yorkshire was part of the period when the club was fined, you might remember, failing to address the systematic use of discriminatory or racist language. Nigeria into the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations after a 1-0 win over Angola. In today's other quarter-final, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Guinea currently drawing 1-1 at half-time. We've got the players back on the pitch in Marseille. France 10, Ireland 17, but France down a man. And Chris Ashton, as you chat to Chris Jones, what must it be like to be Paul Willemse right now?
I think he's had better days, son.
Yeah.
I don't know if
is
be
that?
in the changing rooms. I'm glad I never found out, because that is not a nice position to be in at international level. I could see Jonesy laughing at me. Yes, I did get red card, but not in an international.
Sorry, I just wondered why Sonia threw that question to you and not Tommy. That's all.
I was just thinking Harlequins, Leicester.
I get it. But not in this sort of environment, not in this cauldron. That is, and to do it in the way he did it with 2 yellows for similar sort of offence.
Referral for the bunker. The yellow card has been upgraded to a red card, a high degree of danger and no mitigation. Okay, thank you.
I don't know what that really means.
Surprise.
I don't know what it means. He's already been sent off, so he's already got 2 yellows.
You alluded, Chris, didn't you, that it was
might
about
affect a
his
ban,
subsequent ban. Yeah.
Either
Away
way,
we go, second half.
So Willemse has been so sent off that he's had a yellow and a red. So he's basically had a turbo send. Nothing really to love about, but as Chris Ashton said, not been his day. But are we ready for another 40 here, guys? France 10, Ireland 17. We are underway with Gibson Park in his own 22, digging for the ball, preparing to clear his lines. Who is going to strike first in this second half? And can France start the second half like they ended the first? So well beaten for practically that whole first 40. Penaud's try on the interval has given France a lifeline. 14-man France 10. Ireland 17, first minute of the second half. France line out round halfway, Tommy Bowe.
Yeah, just one try in it now, unfortunately for Ireland. They were so dominant in that first half, and France with that red card. If Ireland had held out, they would be just feeling so confident, but you just don't know. With France now, an early try, early points could really lift this crowd here in Marseille, and I know it's not going to take much. A driving maul for them now. This could be a penalty.
Well, they've got about 10 metres. Malbaka's throw was miraculously claimed by Aldridge. Penalty, as Tommy Bowe called. Ireland swimming up the side of the maul, to use the technical jargon, but basically offside. And now this is a big call. And we've, between us, called them all wrong. We've said go for goal, and they've gone for the corner.
Let's not bother. What Ireland don't want to do is continue as they've ended that second half, though. He's getting on the wrong side of Carl Disson. France just won that line out. It was really unnecessary to go the way through that. Just defend it and let them get away.
Yeah, and towards the end of that second half, Ireland were so dominant right in front. Crowley just missed that kick right in front of the post as well. You felt that France thought, OK, this is an opportunity. Off the next play, Joe McCarthy dropped the ball, gave France another opportunity. They went down and scored and ran in at half-time. Now Ramos steps up to try and make it 4 points between the two, and then it is absolutely game on. The French flags are starting to go here. You can feel the French tails are up.
Right, Ramos, raucous din. They don't go quiet for the kicker like in Munster. They've ever so slightly quietened down for Ramos to put France within 4. Is this curving in? It's staying out. They wait for goal. They didn't get it. And the score stays France 10, Ireland 17 as we go to a goal at Bristol City against Leeds. Molly Stevens.
Yes, Bristol City 0, Leeds United 1. Finally the breakthrough that Daniel Farke's side should have got in the first half, having had so many chances on goal. Wilfred Gnonto with the Thunderbolts. Bristol City 0, Leeds United 1.
Thanks, Molly. I know you'll have a keen eye and ear on events in Cardiff tomorrow. Sports Extra, 2 o'clock until 7 o'clock, 5 hours of uninterrupted Six Nations rugby with Italy, England, followed by Wales against Scotland. But first, we have 37 minutes to play of this blockbuster opener. France 10, Ireland 17. It has been all Ireland pretty much, but France have started the second half better, even though they are down a man with Paul Willemse sent off. Donty on the charge. Luku does a spin and gets it to Bowe, but the Irish defence is all over them. They're going to get a penalty here. Andrew Porter wins it at the breakdown. France going nowhere. Ireland swarming all over, the ball on the floor, and it's probably not in Crowley's range, Tommy, but a chance for Ireland to go deep into French territory.
And a chance for Ireland to relieve that pressure that they're under. I think that Galtier needs to make a change, potentially at number 9. Luku just doesn't look like he knows what direction he's going. Maybe he's not getting the command that he should be getting from Jalibert at 10, but at the moment the French attack is rudderless.
Really good shout. I wonder actually when Galtier will have to do something about this.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Maybe Jalibert is not giving him that clarity of how he doesn't play the game like that. Jalibert is a front foot player. He wants his forwards get in and go forward, and then he'll step up and take the ball. When they're getting knocked back, he's just not taking control.
Would it be Ramos go to 10 if that was the case?
Yeah, they're a 6-2 bench, aren't they? As Ireland attack through Aki. Another Irish score would really silence the crowd, who were buoyed by that Penno try at the end of the half. Peter O'Mahony's lurking on the touchline. Footwork from the captain. They're well in French territory here, Ireland. And Aki's got past this flimsy French defence. Crowley on the post with Henshaw, met by a couple of Frenchmen. But there for McCarthy, who looks the real deal at this level in his first Six Nations appearance. Here's Caelan Doris, who's been that way for a few years. Crowley out to O'Mahony, looking to lead by example, and that's a decent little bust. 17-10 Ireland lead. McCarthy again, he's dynamite. Good quick ball for Gibson Park, Lowe's off his wing. This is vintage Irish rugby. They go within 5. Gibson Park options right, but he'll go left. Keenan's a first receiver. He wings it to Henshaw. It's a 2-on-2 here. Henshaw's almost through. He got the offload away. Great pickup. Oh, what a try that is. Doris to Nash. That is brilliant from Ireland. A famous Irish try. They're on the brink of a famous Irish win.
What attack. Joe McCarthy coming around the corner. He's 22 years of age. He's a big lump. Everybody's talked about what a prospect he is. Easily over the French gain line. Ireland sweep back through Hugo Keenan, gives it to Robbie Henshaw. It's a 2-on-2. He skips around, gets tackled just a metre from the line, pops it up to Caelan Doris, who puts Hugo Keenan in the corner. Wonderful attack by Ireland. Sean Edwards will be fairly frustrated because you don't know what France are doing in defence.
It's Jalibert again. It's a 2-on-2. I mean, it's great. That's what you want as an attacking player in the 22. You want that one-on-one situation to create an edge, as Henshaw did, but Jalibert just sat back. You're on your try line. He needs to get up and make the tackle, save his team. He's drifting off like he's up on the Ireland try line.
Ole, ole, ole is ringing out around the stadium here at the minute. It was Calvin Nash, who went over in the corner as well. But wonderful attack by Ireland. Really had this French defence on the back foot. They're defending in 2s and 3s. They don't know where they're going. Some are going off the line. Some of them are coming backwards. And Ireland are 100% capitalising it. And again, Jack Crowley has
nudged it.
Nailed it from the touchline. You can hear the crowd from the Irish side of things, but Ireland in a huddle again, took that deep breath to refocus, recompose themselves, because there's still a long way to go in this game.
Calvin Nash's first test try. What a time and place to do it. France 10, Ireland 24, and France need to respond with their 14 men, otherwise they are cooked here.
I do not see the desperation from the French team at all. I just don't see it. I'm watching body language all the time in the French team.
Yeah,
and
they're
they are just
standing
not here.
off. Yes, aren't they, Ashley? Exactly as you say, just even there, Ireland just allowed to make a soft couple of metres, and Gibson Park has the freedom of Marseille, you feel, to clear his lines. No one's on his case, and he actually gets under it a bit, but still takes play almost up to the halfway line, Tommy Bowe.
Very interesting to hear from a lot of the French journalists going into this game, because from an Irish point of view, I was worried about the backlash that we were going to see from this French side going into it, obviously after their disappointment of the Rugby World Cup, but there was a lot of question marks of the coaching setup, the typical French fashion when things don't go their way. But I thought, will Galtier be still so popular? They've brought a couple of new people into the setup, and they just weren't very positive coming into this game, and I can see 100% why now.
I think they've also got to look at this line-out. They barely won a clean line-out all day. And as amazing as Malvaca is around the park, I wonder if they'll call for Julien Marchand soon to try and shore up this line-out. And you said that there was some concern from the French around the press room. The second row was pointed out as an area of concern with the injuries they've got. Willems are off. They look really light at line-out time, but they have won that kick battle. And now Antonio from Cyril Bai's little pop in centre field. Luku went in, so Bai plays at scrum half. Fiku almost ran into Carl Dixon. Now Moefana off his wing, but Ireland are desperate. They're tackling themselves to a standstill. They have a whopping 14-point lead, and there are only 30 minutes left in the Velodrome. Ireland again go through. Luku couldn't get it, but Fiku went in to play at scrum half, and Ireland have just blitzed them off the ball there. Amazing counter up. McCarthy's pass is loose, which put Gibson Park under pressure, but once again Tommy Bowe, as Ireland turn over the ball. That physicality and the intensity is stunning France.
Wonderful defence. France walking, hands on knees. Just don't look like they're at the races here at the minute. Ireland are on the front foot and playing with a real tempo, a real excitement at the minute. A big opportunity for them though to try and clear their lines, get themselves back into the French half and put the pressure back on the team in blue.
And just to reiterate, if you're just joining us, Ireland have an extra man. Willems is sent off. And yeah, you feel if Ireland just keep playing, they've got a penalty as France go in at the side from the little kick. And listen to the noise around the Velodrome. This crowd is turning.
I don't think the Irish team need to do that. Instead of clearing their lines, get themselves deep into the French half. They tried the little dink over the top. It worked in their favour. Jack Crowley looked like he potentially took Gaël Ficou out in the air. That's why you can hear the French crowd are really upset about it. But they don't need to be taking these chances.
I like it.
Play the percentages.
Just variation on French setting back, thinking they're just going to box it, and they throw something different at you. It just keeps you guessing all the time.
Well, that's, I suppose you're saying, yeah. There's no point in retreating and start to defend. Keep attack.
Well, the crowd are incensed about that challenge on Ficou. But I wonder if there was a French player getting in the way. Obviously, the officials would have a look. And what's Carl Dixon got now? Yeah, does he actually? Are we going back for that? Has the crowd done its bit?
Well, Gaël Ficou is certainly milking it anyway. He's still walking around. I don't know if that's just him, like all the rest of the French players at the minute, but yeah, it looks like
they got the penalty in the end after some of the more deafening whistles.
Well, it was the same for club rugby here. They would not stop until the game was stopped.
It's like a toddler, isn't it? You will give us a penalty. Well, that could be a turning point. It could not. 14 points is still massive, especially when you're a man down. But we've gone from Ireland being in the French 22 to France being in the Irish 22, and France actually won a line out at the front with Gabrielac, and now they'll set up a maul, and now the crowd's cheers and whistles are turning to cheers, imploring France on. Moefana's off his wing. He's broken a tackle. Now listen to the noise around the Velodrome. 10 metres out the French. Luku, Bai and Ficou set it up in centre field. There again for Luku, but have they got a pattern? Have they got a strategy? Ireland are offside. The whistles again from the crowd.
Two players wrong side.
I don't think a kick for goal and a penalty does much good here. So Jalibert, Tommy Bowe and Chris Ashton might be prodding it into the corner. They need a try, the French, as Jalibert goes to within 5.
The French crowd are doing their bit here. The French players not sure they're doing quite what they need, but the French crowd they're certainly on Dixon's, the referee's back, trying to will this team on, because they just need to see that energy from this French team. They've got a line out now, 5 metres out from the Irish line.
Alain Le Bleu, the crowd back behind their team. Oh, they've won the line out, France. Ireland jump, that leaves a hole. France could pour through here. There's 6 or 7, maybe more Frenchmen in that maul. And they've got another penalty, have they, France? And they're only a metre or 2 out. Ficou's going to play at scrum half with Luku predisposed. 3 3 metres or so the French away. They trail by 14 with their 14 men. They're up to the line. They couldn't be much closer. In the far corner, despairing Irish tackling as France again go for the line. Gabriel hauled just short. Play stopped by the referee. Let's listen in.
Unbelievable defence by Gibson Park there.
I don't know how he stopped that try.
About anything, have you got a grounding?
So he's got the ball, gets through the players onto the ground.
Yep.
It's just whether he bobbles it. I think he has grounded it.
So on-field try. Okay.
Just confirm he hasn't lost.
Okay, and we've got clips. There are 6 collapsing them all to start with. Yes. So after the try, 6 will go to the bin to collapse them all near the line. Okay, so we have on-field decision try. So we just need to check the grounding, please.
Big moment here. The touch judge on the far side, Jordan Way, thinks he saw a grounding, and Peter Romani's going to go to the bin, the Irish skipper. So is the tide turning in this gripping Six Nations opener?
This could be a double whammy against Ireland here. It looks like Peter Romani is definitely going to be going to the bin no matter what. Now we're just seeing a replay of whether France were able to get themselves over the line. It looked like it was Gibson Park, the Irish scrum half, on his own on the short side against 3 or 4 of the French pack. I don't know how he managed to stop them. We're still waiting to see. They're showing us the maul here. It's the wrong clip.
Just to let you know, Carl, I've told the director this is not what we want.
Ben Whitehouse, the TMO here.
They're refusing. It's a try. They're just hoping that everyone forgets.
This is typical French directors, isn't it? So obviously France didn't score a try, but the French director doesn't want to show us that.
So we keep seeing the ball.
Dicko, this is it coming up.
Here we go. Right, Olivon picks.
Try.
Oh, right. Very interesting call. That ball is on the line, but has he lost it forward? Try from Chris Ashton, no try from Tommy Bowe. Olivon again. I think he
tried that.
He's not in control of it. It's not his. He doesn't have it.
He does first touch.
Gibson Park, well done.
Clear evidence to overturn the on-field decision, so take your time, Ben.
Short.
Oh, I think this could be a try. I think Chris Ashton may...
I don't think there's enough to overturn the on-field.
Given that the assistant...
2 seconds.
The assistant said try, so on-field is try. She may have heard from Carl Dixon. The evidence needs to be compelling to overturn that verdict, which is try. I think it's Charles Olivon.
Gabriel Lang.
It's Gabriel Lang the lock, and I think the ball may graze the line. It's so tight. It is incredibly tight.
Very tight. We're just going to have a look at it once more.
It wouldn't be hard to know what way the crowd are thinking anyway.
Well, we're seeing again a replay. The ball is on the ground, and then you think it's a try.
You could be right.
It's going to be a big roar here.
I think it just.
I think it could be. I think his hand is still on it.
Yeah, it just kisses the whitewash, doesn't it? Now,
the tiniest of margins, but Ireland are already set up as if it is a try. I think they know.
The trouble is that.
So, Carl, can you hear me?
Here, let's listen to Ben Whitehouse.
You have a grounding, yes? Okay, so I haven't got any overwhelming evidence to overturn your on-field decision due to the obscured view. So stick with your on-field decision.
You were desperate, Tommy.
God damn it. Okay, right. Try for France. And Peter Romani's in the bin. Okay, now listen to the velodrome.
And here come the subs.
And now Fabien Galtier showing his hand. It was a marginal call, wasn't it? But because the officials saw a grounding, the on-field verdict was try. If the on-field verdict had been no try, then it may not have been given. Who's come on? Paul Gabriel confirmed as try scorer, and I think Pasolo Tuolangi has come on.
Tuolangi is on, yeah.
That's Manu Tuolangi's 19-year-old nephew, and he becomes the 7th Tuolangi to play Test rugby. 5 for Samoa, 1 for England in Manu, and now 1 for France for Solo Tuolangi.
He's 25 stone.
Right, we are high up in the stadium, and we can clearly see where he is.
Ramos for 17-24. What a kick, Thomas Ramos! Okay, try France, conversion Ramos, Omani in the sin bin. So for the next 10 minutes at least, Chris Ashton, it is going to be 14 on 14. The gap is 7, and France at last have their tails up.
Jack Crowley's got to kick right here. Tuolangi's deep on the left. I wouldn't be giving him a run up.
Let's go in, Jack.
This is one of the ones where the kick-off is, and you're trying to look, if you're a winger, having a taste, and you say, no, my hamstring's tight. Go the other side. I mean, that man Tuolangi's 19 years of age, 6'4", and on the border of 25 stone. You don't want him running with a head of steam.
Oh, through came Nash. He knocked it on. France may look to play, or it's going to be a French scrum. Oh, I mean, we expected a lot from this opener. We knew it would be eventful and captivating. It has been those things and more. 54 minutes gone, so just over 25 minutes to go. France 17, Ireland 24. France a man down the rest of the game with Willems's first half setting off, but the Irish skipper Peter O'Mahony is in the sin bin, 14 on 14. So if you're France, you just look to keep playing here and try and make the most of the extra space on the pitch.
I mean, I don't know about keep playing. We haven't seen much of France playing at all, but they've got such physicality, so many big men who've just come off the bench, so it's about trying to squeeze this Irish team, squeeze the energy out of them. But a big opportunity for Ireland.
This ball isn't coming out the scrum, is it?
France have gone to work. Scrum penalty, France.
Wow.
And they have got serious dominance in that area. And the new front row, Reda Wardy's come on. I'm trying to see whether Marchand has come on at hooker as well.
He has.
Yeah, so changes up front. Overdue, perhaps, changes for France. And now, allez les Bleus.
What Ireland don't want to do is back up this now with another penalty and put France right back down in the 22. Just let them play, let them have the ball for the next few minutes. Just cost them, turn the ball over themselves.
Absolutely. You know exactly what France are going to do. They're trying to win this line out, go into another driving wall, try and squeeze out another penalty. So it's really important that Ireland keep their discipline, don't give France anything simple over the next couple of minutes.
Marchand prepares to throw. France's line out has been all over the shop. They've lost another one. Ireland get up and nick it, and now Ireland are perhaps looking to play. Crowley out to Aki for solo Tuolangi with a judgment hit bang on the centre circle. Therefore, the Irish forwards who drive on. We're just getting to that stage of a test match where it starts maybe to get a little bit cagey. Gibson Park's kick is going too long.
Oh, that's exactly what they didn't want.
But, I mean, they've still got to get the ball in, France.
Yeah, France have a line out now in the Irish half where Gibson Park, simple box kick, just put it on top of Mofana in his 22, put pressure on him, just amp the pressure up on this French side. Unfortunately, small errors like that are really giving France that little bit of life.
I mean, it must be partly down to losing your starting lock in Willemse, and even though he's not a sort of line out guru, they certainly are struggling without him. Fickou, Donty, slightly loose. James Lowe, good defence on Ramos. France are getting in to help Ramos. It's going to be a scrum to Ireland, I think. Yeah, Ireland have done really well there, and they've got the scrum. France's backline play, Chris Ashton, just not looking slick enough.
We've just talked about Tuolangi for the past few minutes. He's out of the line out. He's there ready for the ball, and they wing two wide passes straight into Lowe's lap.
Let's go, lads.
I just don't understand that at all. This is what we've said all first half. There's no clear thinking from the half-back partnership. Okay, but the centres, I mean, Fickou, Donty, they should say no.
And they're so experienced.
Yeah.
Donty, Fickou, I mean, they've played this game so much. And to try and do a skip pass out to Ramos with James Lowe right up in his face. Wonderful defence, to be fair to James Lowe. Held up Ramos. Robbie Henshaw got underneath the ball as well. And a scrum now for Ireland.
Almost on the hour mark in Marseille. Six Nations Rugby on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. France 17, Ireland 24. But Tommy Bowe and Chris Ashton, Six Nations winners and wingers with us on commentary. Ireland, Tommy, they just want to try and keep this scrum away because France mean business there.
It's a scrum here for Ireland, but I wouldn't be surprised if Gibson Park and James Lowe sniped down the left-hand side. James Lowe put it on his left foot and try to get themselves back into the French 22. Just turn this French defence. Big men like Tuolangi, they don't like to run, they don't like to be going backwards. So the last thing you want to be doing is running straight into them.
So this Ireland scrum is just inside the French half, 15 metres in from the touchline, just above us as we tower over high up here in the Velodrome in the upper stand. Oh, and France have gone too early. Chris Ashton, so keen to exert their dominance, they've jumped the gun. And
it's
now
a free kick though.
Free kick, but Crowley would have smashed it up in the air perhaps.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take another scrum, does he? Want to try to avoid that.
Looks like he's setting up maybe for one of these spiral bombs, or maybe just a regulation bomb. He's done that. Old school Gary Owen from Crowley. This is anyone's. Forward comes Penno. No, he loses it. Van der Fleer's got it. And Ireland can
knock on.
Put France away here. Low down the short side. Advantage for the knock-on. I think it was only a knock-on. Good tackling France, but Ireland keep it alive. Porter inside the French 22. Another Ireland try could sap the energy out of France and out of this crowd. Nice little post. Aki's hit by Dante, but he knocks it on in the tackle. Dante. France pour forward. Ireland back on their own 10-metre, back on the French 10-metre line. Tyke Byrne, one of the try scorers. 3 tries for Ireland tonight. Gibson Park. Keenan's up in the line. Advantage offside or tackling without the ball. And Ireland have men down this short side. Little ball inside to Sheehan. Lovely stuff from Ireland. To within 15. Gibson Park, they've got the width of the pitch here. Crowley, Tyburn, low, great rugby. Caelan Doris powers to within 10. They lead by 7. Another score could break the French resistance. Crowley out to Robbie Henshaw. Still Henshaw sets it up 6 metres short. Another advantage. Penno caught offside this time. Again it's there for Ireland, and this massive lock Joe McCarthy, who's looked brilliant in his first Six Nations appearance. There's Jack Crowley. He's 5 metres out. Gibson Park. Robbie Henshaw, who's been everywhere in this move. Still there for Ireland. France bodies on the floor. Another penalty coming here, surely. There it is. Carl Dixon going back for the offside. And Ireland, Tommy Bowe, have the chance to kick another 3 or stick it in the corner and really try and put France to bed.
Wonderful attack by this Irish side. So many options left and right. Robbie Henshaw, chance to go. He went on the outside, gave it back inside to Dan Sheehan, making a brilliant gain line. Joe McCarthy coming around the corner, getting over the gain line. Ireland really look very impressive. We talked about going into this game, can they be clinical when they get into the French 22? So far they're putting them under so much pressure, and this is a chance for a 4th try. 5 metres out from the line. It's a line out. What are France going to do? Are they going to try and get up and disrupt it, or are they going to try and just disrupt them all?
I was watching the French replacement prop, Algieri. He couldn't move.
He's the replacement prop.
Ireland win the line out. They're only 3 or 4 metres out. They're driving up front. They've scored. Dan Sheehan's over, and is that the try that seals a win for Ireland in Marseille on opening night? Sheehan engulfed. The French almost look beaten under their posts. Ruthless stuff from the Irish forwards. Dan Sheehan's try, and their lead goes out to 12 with the kick to come.
So simple. So simple. An Irish driving maul. France looks so ragged for a team of absolute monsters. They just do not look like a team. They're in 1s and 2s, and Dan Sheehan just peels off the back of them all over the line. 4 tries for Ireland. Really look at 29 points of 17. Look so comfortable.
I can't get over what I've just witnessed from the replacement French prop. He's been on 7 minutes. He couldn't get off the floor and make a tackle, and then he got up and he ended up giving the penalty that put Ireland into the corner. He didn't move off the wing for 3 minutes. And that says everything about France tonight.
That's been the whole game. On every kick, they're walking to every set piece. They do not look like the French team that we thought going into that last World Cup would have been favourites for it.
Oh, Crowley's kicked another one. Some brilliant kicking from the rookie 10. 6 years ago, it was the magic right boot of Johnny Sexton with the drop goal. No Sexton anymore. But what a first Six Nations effort this would be from Jack Crowley if he is to steer Ireland home. They lead by 31 points to 17. Omani is back on now. So with 14 men against Ireland's full complement of 15, France will have to overturn a 14-point deficit with 17 minutes to go, Tommy.
It looks like Luku is off. It looks like, Jalibert is still on. Dante has come off as well. Biel Barry and Le Garrec. I think that they need that. The 9-10 axis just doesn't look like it's working. They've no direction in attack. They need to try and mix things up and get a bit of tempo back into their game, the French.
Maybe too little too late. They've got to score next, France. And the restart is well claimed by Ireland and Jack Conan. They've got 6 forwards on the bench, haven't they, Ireland? With the likes of James Ryan, Ryan Baird and Jack Conan. So if you're Ireland, you with the extra man, just keep the ball in play and absolutely make sure. Gibson Park kicks for Keane, well taken by France, and Boudehon scampering backwards. But they've looked short of real direction today, France, and now they've got to go against an extra man for the last 15 minutes of this game, and they trail by 31-17, and they've lost it through Biel Biarri, and it will be a scrum to Ireland.
There's just polar opposites in mentality here. I mean, France have had their moments to try and scrape themselves back into this game, but Ireland are so confident. They're on their own 22 and they're dinking little kicks over. Keenan straight into the tackle. They're up on the edges, putting pressure on France. Jalibert's forcing a passer at the back. It's just so unnecessary. Jalibert should be booting that ball straight back, not even a second's thought. Yeah. He's not doing that. He's trying to force a player at the back and find something from nothing that's just not working.
You said it earlier on in the game, this is like the French team we saw 5-6 years ago. No direction, no enthusiasm, no energy. And particularly when you're in a stadium, such an iconic stadium like this, with 60,000 French supporters here all willing them on. Le Marseillaise was probably one of the greatest moments I've had in a rugby stadium. I think the whole place just feels deflated now from this French performance.
Are we seeing a team that, I mean, there were so many questions before the game saying, who's it going to affect worse, who's going to be able to recover? By the looks of things, France have really not recovered from the World Cup.
The hangover is still, it's that 2-day hangover.
It's lingering.
It sure is.
Yeah, they need to take some fluids on France to get an early night, don't they? With under 15 minutes to go, France 17, Ireland 31. Halfway line scrum to Ireland, and Ireland even got a nudge on at that scrum. Carl Dixon allows them to play away. Nice little post, sees Gibson Park. Oh, great ball out to the far side, and Ireland are storming up to the 22 through one of the try scorers, Nash. They're beautifully connected in attack here, Ireland, aren't they? As Ryan Baird powers on, but it's been turned over by France. However, there's no one really there to play it, is there? The scrum half's on the floor. Ficou goes into play scrum half when you want him out wide.
Jalibert's literally walking across the pitch.
I mean, you don't want to be too negative about this, but it is really, really infuriating when you see players of such calibre not giving 100%.
The kick from France, and Le Garrec is fielded by Nash, who's looked really lively on his first Six Nations appearance, just his second game for his country. Here's Tyke Byrne, one of Ireland's 4 try scorers, a bonus point in the bag for what it's worth. And Ireland may be able to get outside France here as Keenan kicks, and that will dribble out of play. So France will have the line now, but Tommy Bowe, Ireland will just be happy turning France around and keeping it in the French half.
Ireland look like they're just having a great time. They're all the plays that they were practicing well over in Portugal and the week before this this Six Nations. They're playing with reckless abandon, offloads, little chips through. It's brilliant to see. I mean, it's the way rugby should be played. It's the way we want to see rugby played in a game where everybody talks about how physical it is. At tempo, at speed, with skill is the sort of game that I grew up loving, and this is the sort of spectacle that I like to see. I just wish that France, who we know can play the same way, were able to do the same today.
Ryan Baird's on for Joe McCarthy. I mean, he's been a joke today, Joe McCarthy.
Incredible.
What a player, what an asset to Ireland and Andy Farrell. France's kick is taken by Biel Biarri, so something perhaps happening here to spark the French players, who really do look beaten in terms of their body language. France 17, Ireland 31 as we edge towards the final 10 minutes. Jalibert deep to Ficou. Ficou's pass out to Penaud, who loses it, but it went backwards. No, it didn't. The officials say it went forward. Penaud can't believe it, nor can the crowd.
He's not been the same player tonight, Penaud. We haven't seen the same bounce from him, just want to get the ball one across the pitch, just being involved. We haven't seen it at all. He just dropped an easy pass.
But you know yourself, Chris, it's up to the pack to give you that platform. We know Damien Penaud comes alive whenever the forwards are all over the opposition, whenever the team they're up against are on their knees, they're a little bit sluggish. That's where you want to see him with ball in hand. But so far tonight, France have been the ones who've been sluggish. Ireland have been together, they've been linked, they've looked really cohesive.
And they just have 11 and a half minutes to play to see out a famous Irish win, to rank alongside 2014 and 2018, but maybe even bigger than those, given the margin, given the strength of this French team. And their scrum might even get a penalty here, but it's gone forward and it's been tidied up by Jack Conan, who's on. And Ireland will just use the experience of Gibson Park. You'll feel here Tommy Bowe just to peg France back, and he's taking all the time he's allowed to clear downfield. Tester this, Penaud looked at Ramos looked at Penaud, neither of them wanted it, gathered up by Le Garrec. And there might be an opportunity here finally for the French, out wide now to Bowe, who's gone over the 10-metre line and over the halfway line. But they need points, and they need them urgently, the French. Cameron Wokey's on, and he sets it up just short of halfway, but the Irish defence looks nice and settled. Ficou, Penaud's through, that's gorgeous from Penaud. He goes wide to Budahan, what a catch from the replacement flank. And he bundles past an Irish player almost up to the 22. Better at last from the French. Le Garrec out to Tuolangi, nice hands from the youngster. Ramos, Jalibert's almost through. This is much better from France. Ficou, lovely ball to Ramos. Ramos kicks for Bowe, doesn't quite sit up for him. Good sweeping by Jamison Gibson Park to clean that ball up, because that was dangerous from France. And Ireland over on the far side, Tommy, do have the ball crucially.
Wonderful sweeping defence by Jamison Gibson Park, as you said. I think it was Ficou who put the ball through, did a 3-on-1, 3-on-2 on the outside. I don't know why he kicked it. Gave the ball back to Ireland again. They're going to try and clear their lines here. But France, momentarily there, we saw the bit of injection of belief, the bit of spark that we knew that we were hoping to see, because when they do get that and the ball does come alive, boy, they're great to watch.
Gibson Park will clear, and he does just that. It's a solid kick. It's just what Ireland need, Chris Ashton, and we are into the final 10 minutes. Rugby Union Daily, out every day during the championship. We'll have that with you as soon as possible after the full-time whistle, debriefing this extraordinary game, which as it stands, Ashley, is going to be won by Ireland unless France can do something quite miraculous.
I think what really strikes me with France is the inability to be able to back it up quickly. I don't know if that's fitness or whatever they've been doing. They just do not look as sharp as Ireland. Ireland are willing to do everything on repeat over and over, no matter what it is, whatever the job is, they'll get it done. Whereas France go through the phases, like it was great attack, they went through the phases, wrong decision at the end to put the ball through, but then they are wiped out for 2-3 minutes so they can get back into the game again.
Is replaced by the number 22.
Conor Murray on, no better man for this occasion, Tommy.
Yeah, Conor Murray again, just a steady head there, a guy with over 100 caps for Ireland. One of these players who's been around for such a long time, whether he's going to see this 4-year cycle with Ireland or not, I think Andy Farrell will be delighted. 3 players here tonight have had their first taste of Six Nations rugby. You have obviously Joe McCarthy, who's off the pitch now, 22 years of age, second row, an absolute man mounted. He has been fantastic tonight. Jack Crowley at 10. I think he's been really impressive. A guy who's come through in the shadow of Johnny Sexton. So much talk of Johnny Sexton. What are Ireland going to do without their talisman? I think Jack Crowley has really stepped up to the plate. He hasn't gone missing. He's been there pulling the strings for Ireland. And Calvin Nash on the wing with one try and 2 caps. Not bad going. We probably haven't seen as much as we wanted him with ball in hand.
France just about win their line out. It's fizzed out to Jalibert. Here is Tuolangi, who thunders into a couple of Irish players. Now Cameron Woki over the 10-metre line, decent pass from the replacement. But it's slowish ball, and Ireland will not mind this with this whopping 14-point lead in the Velodrome. Ramos is skipping, but he's shackled by a few Irish defenders. Cyril Bowe with a little dart to the left of the ruck. But they've got a lot to do, France. And remember, they've got 14 men to France's 15. Paul Willemse sending off. But even before that, France were being outplayed by Ireland as Tuolangi carries again almost up to the 22. Cyril Bowe's on because Wardy's had to go off injured. As Ramos just flicks it along the line, but are you seeing anything, Chris Ashton, from France to suggest they can do something special? The ball is knocked on as I asked that, and Ireland will have the scrum with 8 minutes to go.
Blow it up, ref.
You don't see many teams at international rugby 14 points down, going side to side, pick and goes. They're 35 metres out and they're going nowhere. They're missing some big personalities, as has been highlighted dramatically tonight. I know they're trying to solve it on their own. Yeah, they're not getting anywhere. They're looking at Tuolangi to try and get some gain line, but he's a good few years off that yet. So it's going to be something for the future.
I'd be really interested to see what France do now for the rest of the competition. Obviously this is billed as the big challenge between the two heavyweights. Who is going to go on, who is going to win this match and then potentially go on to win the competition. It looks like Ireland have obviously got the win now. They have a couple of big games. They have England obviously away from home as well. They've got Italy, Scotland and Wales at home. They'll be feeling very confident with that draw. But it'd be really interesting to see from a French point of view, where do they go after this match? You know, with so much hype going into this game, so much hype going into the World Cup, they've failed on both occasions.
And Murrayfield next.
Murrayfield next, exactly, with Gregor Townsend. If Scotland can do a job over Wales in the Millennium Stadium, which they haven't done in I don't know how long, you know,
22
all of a sudden,
years.
Yeah, all of a sudden their tails are up as well, taking on the French, and they start to get that belief. I mean, that's the great thing about the Six Nations.
Scotland haven't won it
in 22 years.
Yeah. But
well, they believe they will.
They had
anyway.
a good team for a bit.
But I mean, there were games when there was a one in 2010 where Scotland were sort of 10 points up with about a minute to go, and Wales still won.
Well, they've got the roof closed this time anyway. They've made one decision.
Yeah,
right.
we'll talk about the roof in the pod. I need to apologise to Ashley after telling him that teams had to make a decision. They couldn't go back on it, and Scotland did. Stoppage for a few injuries, but we've got a juxtaposition of noise here between the whistles of the French and the fields of Athenry from the delirious travelling Irish fans. Andy Farrell promised them a special weekend away after the disappointment of that World Cup quarter-final, and how the team have delivered so far. Ramos trying to despairingly run it back, but we're getting to the point now where there simply isn't enough time. Jalibert skips, but they've got 40 metres to go to the Irish line. They have 6.5 minutes, and they have 14 points just to draw the game. France 17, Ireland 31. Tuolangi again with the carry. But Ireland have turned it over. Have they got one more score in them? I think they might, you know. Oh, if Conan had kept that in, he may keep it in. Keenan's going on, and that's Jalibert. Almost rugby's version, actually, there of saying, let's get on the bus. He's kicked it out. I know he could have been in trouble if he dived on it, but Ireland now have the line out, and they're going to end this game down in French territory with a 14-point lead.
Yeah, it was Conan who put the ball through. A nice little kick. He could have probably kept it in hands. It was a 3-on-2. Ireland could have got away, but listen, put the pressure back onto this French team. Something that's really worked today for Ireland is James Lowe and his clearance kicks on his left foot. A lot of pressure obviously on Jack Crowley at 10, but James Lowe's taken all that pressure off by just putting the ball in behind this French side. A wonderful attack by Ireland off the line out, and Hugo Keenan gone through a nice little hole.
Conor Murray driven on by the forwards. 5 minutes to go. Ireland with a 14-point lead, and they're only 7 or 8 metres from the French line. This is the stuff of dreams for Ireland as Crowley goes cross-field. It's taken eventually by Le Garrec, the replacement 9. But look at those, you know, the French forwards are looking out on their feet, actually, aren't they?
No one's chasing that kick. Look, Eric has kicked it and everybody said, what are you doing?
Well, the Irish look supremely fit. They're still playing. I know they've had the extra man for lots of this game, and that is a factor. But even before the Williams are sending off, it was all Ireland's game. Under 5 minutes to go in Marseille. France 17, Ireland 31, and like a balloon, the noise has been punctured out of this magnificent stadium.
Calvin Nash there, the Irish right wing, looks like he's taken a bad knock to the right leg as well.
Bodies are sort of not quite strewn across the turf, but everyone is moving that little bit slower. Oh, that's a decent carry though, as we say that from Jack Conan. Doris, Crowley, clever little kick from Crowley over his shoulder. Ramos has it. He's kicked. I mean, fair enough call, but when you're 14 points down with 4 minutes to go, you need something quite spectacular. Ireland, good dummy. Crowley now out to Lowe's. Offside against France as Lowe looks for a 50-22. Doesn't need it. Offside against France. And Tommy, I think you just kick a goal here, take the full minute, don't you? And take it to 3 scores.
Yeah, 76 minutes on the clock. I think Jack Crowley, I think both teams, to be fair, look like they're pretty worn out at this stage. So very early in the competition. Yes, for Ireland to get to 34 points against 17, I mean, that's an incredible win against this French side in Marseille. This stadium is world-renowned for its atmosphere and world-renowned for how difficult France are to beat. Ireland have really taken them to town tonight.
Well, Crowley wanted to go for goal, but referee Dixon said...
A bit naive there, I think. They should have taken the time out of the clock and gone for goal.
Yeah, it looked as if there was a bit of confusion because Dixon said the ref told him they weren't going for goal while Crowley was pointing towards the post and trying to get his kicking tee on. Either way.
Yeah, either way, it doesn't matter. I think Ireland are still they're gonna go through phases here. France are going to give a penalty away, and I've no doubt Ireland are going to score another try.
Going off the far side, time back on.
Well, they're only a point away from the most points they've ever scored against France. That was last year, 32 points.
Kelleher at the back of them all, what do we reckon?
Beautifully taken in the middle. They look perfectly set here, Ireland. 3 minutes to go in Marseille, and Ireland have France on the rack. France 17, Ireland 31, and they are marching over the line. They've got another one.
Kelleher at the back of them all.
What a night for Ireland, what a night for Irish rugby. What a night for these supporters in Marseille. Try Ireland, a 5th, and they have taken France apart here.
Ireland's maul, unbelievable. Going into this game, there was a lot of question marks. Can they be clinical? Can they win the moment? Paul O'Connell, their line-out coach, was under a lot of pressure in the World Cup. The line-out didn't go well. The big teams took it apart. But tonight, they've been so clinical. They've got every moment. And they've really torn this French pack apart.
It just screams to what I mentioned it early in this game, and when Ireland went to New Zealand and did a job in New Zealand in the summer tour, been so calm throughout the game. Jack Crowley's had a great game. Aside from one charge down in his first touch, I can't remember he's put a foot wrong. He's done everything right. Just been so efficient. Why they've been the number 1 team in the world last year for the World Cup. Been great to watch
They've
tonight.
Splintered all kinds of records here tonight. The stats genius Russ Petty informs me their 12 previous away wins in France were between 2 and 7 points. Their previous record win against France was by 7 points in 1948, and they're 19 up here. And Crowley to take the winning margin to 21. It's a record number of points against France as Crowley splits the posts in half. One of the great nights in Irish rugby history, this. France 17, Ireland 38. A demolition job in the velodrome by the Irish.
I'm speechless. So much emotion going into this game, but as Chris was saying, Ireland just seem to be, it's like they just follow the process. They don't get carried away. It's just methodical, and they have been methodical tonight.
Well, we wondered if the winner of the 2024 Six Nations would come from this game. What a statement this has been from Ireland, who are still playing. Full of confidence, energy, intensity, as they have been from the off. 30 seconds to go in Marseille. France 17, Ireland 38. A barely believable scoreline as France win a penalty, but the energy's just not there, Rashi, from the French, is it? It's been rolled away by Ireland, so France get another 10 metres. But is it one of those defeats, and we'll pick it up on the Rugby Union Daily out later, that can set a team back a long way?
It's concerning. I did not expect this from France at all, just seeing the supporters in droves leave the stadium. We mentioned it before the game. Was Marseille opening a door to teams to come, and just it didn't have the aura of Paris and what the history that the stadium holds for the French team, and it's proved right. France have come here, spotted a gap in being down in Marseille. It's different for both teams.
Well, France have won the line-out just.
Oh, they've lost
but
it.
then they've
Turnover.
lost the ball. I mean, that France line-out, like so many parts of the game, not good enough. But it's been an incredible performance from Ireland. Conor Murray belted into the stands. Thousands of desolate French supporters look stunned. Ireland, the celebrations aren't wild, but they know they put in a magnificent performance to send a statement to the rest of the Six Nations. They've come and won in France, and they've not just won by a score, by a couple of points here, by a last-minute drop goal. They have taken France apart. 5 tries, Gibson Park, Byrne, Nash, Sheehan and Kelleher. Crowley unerring from the tee. What a moment for the rookie 10, stepping out of Sexton's shadow. But we asked before the game who would respond best to that World Cup disappointment, and the answer is resoundingly Green and Ireland. France 17, Ireland 38.
Well, we're not getting Usyk Fury anytime soon, are we? But Ireland winning that heavyweight contest in Marseille, and we know who's got the bigger Rugby World Cup hangover now, don't we? Tommy Bowe, we know Ireland are good. They're the defending Grand Slam champions, but are you surprised they were this good?
I am surprised, to be honest with you. Chris just said they were magnificent tonight. They were absolutely magnificent. I mean, incredible. I think that the hangover, the disappointment of the Rugby World Cup quarter-final, we were wondering who was going to react the best to it, but my goodness, this Irish team have come over here to Marseille and they have blown me away. They've blown away the 10,000 Irish supporters who are here tonight to beat this French side by 21 points. Who would have ever believed they would have pulled out a performance like that, and to be so dominant. Andy Farrell and his men, this is a team that should be so proud of themselves.
Yeah, we just saw Paul O'Connell. The line-out was so good today, wasn't it? Giving Andy Farrell a pat on the back, and there's no wild celebrations. A nice smile from Andy Farrell. That's as good as the emotions are going to be shown by him. Chris Ashton, for as good as Ireland were, how poor were France?
Awful, Sonia, to be honest. I really did not expect that at all, but from start to finish they looked like they were just operating at 50%, jogging to places, not getting off the floor. Just not what we've come so used to seeing the France team back. I just wonder if they put so much into winning that World Cup at home, they've almost gone... And the French can take things so badly, as we know, that they can quit. I just hope it doesn't really end up just being a hangover for longer than just this week. I hope they got it at the system, but they've got a lot to work on. The 9-10 combination just didn't move the team around the park. Forwards didn't really give them much of a platform, and it's a lot that was down to how good Ireland's defence was, but just silly errors that we don't associate with France, we haven't for the past few years, just came screaming back tonight.
Interesting, Chris Jones, a tweet from Chris Robshaw, from England captain, of course. How many points is Antoine Dupont worth?
I know, and we chatted a lot this week on the pod and on on 5 Live Sport about who's going to be more of a loss, Sexton or Dupont, and I was minded to think, Sexton's been the attacking fulcrum and the sort of strategic mastermind of that Ireland team for 15 years. Who can fill those shoes? And as amazing as Dupont is, Luku's in good form and Le Garric's in good form, but we got that one wrong because they missed Dupont in every single facet. Organisation, X factor, his ability to get out of holds, his clearing kicks, the point Ashley made in commentary. Luku could barely get it away from the restarts. The point would lamp it 50 or 60. And with a brilliant Irish forward platform, Jack Crowley looked to the manner born. So, look, there are caveats about the punt missing, caveats about a few injuries here and there, but Ireland had them too. Caveats with the yellow cards and then the red card to Willemse. But look, Ireland was completely dominant, even 15 on 15, even 14 on 14. France had their moments, but this was a magnificent Irish performance from 0 to 80. They didn't let up, and they've shown that New Zealand quarter-final, why it would have knocked them for 6, of course it would have done, but it hasn't changed how good a team this Irish team are.
Tommy, Johnny Sexton who?
Yeah, Johnny Sexton who. Jack Crowley was fantastic tonight. I'm just seeing Joe McCarthy getting player of the match as well. He's 22 years of age, a young second row coming through, pushed James Ryan onto the bench, really one for the future. Jack Crowley at 10, young guy coming out of the shadow of Johnny Sexton, so really, really promising. But I do think what Chris Ashton said there about this French team, I really hope that the French team just don't throw the toys out of the pram and they lose hope in themselves, because I think the beauty of world rugby, the beauty of Six Nations rugby is a really strong French side. So I hope that they can regather, they can come back strong with this, and this wasn't a French side that we're going to see in the future, but certainly from an Irish point of view, my goodness, I hope this keeps on going, because it's really, really exciting to be an Irish supporter.
Jonesy, you often hear, and it was a thread throughout the podcasts that I was listening to in the car, your podcast in the car on the way down here, was that you hear a lot of coaches complaining, don't you? They don't have a lot of time with their players before the Six Nations start, and that first match rumbles into view. So the Islands just have this advantage because that Leinster spine is so crucial.
Yeah, and it's whether Leinster or not, and of course there's a huge Leinster influence. Andy Farrell's been in the helm since 2020 or the back end of 2019. They've built this tack and layered it on and on and on. It looked like they hadn't been away from the World Cup, and that's what's going to be a concern for Wales tomorrow and for England tomorrow. They've got completely new playmakers, they've got new forwards, they've got new everything in their team. And even though Crowley was filling Sexton's boots, they had Jamison Gibson-Park fizzing around, Caelan Doris carrying, McCarthy adding so much, Peter O'Mahony all over the ball. So yeah, it was an Irish team that looked so settled, even with this kind of 3-4 month gap. They've obviously used their prep time in Portugal really, really wisely. And they just came to France, and for all of our talk in the build-up about the atmosphere and how hard it is to play places like this, Ireland just did everything right to build a score and take this crowd out of it, Tommy.
I do want to say something about this as well, because Leinster spine is so important, but talking to the Leinster players, talking to the guys who aren't in the Leinster setup, the likes of the Munster, the Connacht, the Ulster guys, this Irish team are so lucky to have the likes of Andy Farrell there, because he has galvanised this squad. He's brought a smile to their faces. There's obviously the professionalism that was there with Joe Schmidt, but he's just brought this clarity that they all seem to be buying in, and this Irish team are benefiting from having a leader like Andy Farrell shining the light for them.
Excellent. And you probably were reading, I think you just read a tweet by Tom Shanklin which said Ireland is so impressive, former Wales centre, so much quality, but the level of coaching is what sets them apart.
100%.
So he echoes what you're saying. Thank you, chaps. That was sensational. Really, really enjoyed that. And what a way to start this Six Nations Championship. Thanks, gang.
Thanks, Sonia. Enjoy tomorrow. What a game.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's Chris Jones, our correspondent, who was alongside Tommy Bowe and Chris Ashton. Wow, what a statement of intent from Ireland. France 17, Ireland 38.